What if I told you the biggest danger in day trading isn't a flash crash or a bad fill or even market manipulation? It's you. Not in the motivational, you're your own worst enemy kind of way. I mean, literally. You are the ticking time bomb sitting next to your trading setup. Because when most traders blow up their accounts, it doesn't happen from one massive mistake. It happens from dozens of tiny lies. Lies like, I'll just risk a little more on this one. This trade feels different. I'll add one more contract to get my loss back. And boom, count gone. Now close your eyes for a second. Picture your worst trade. Not just the one that lost money, but the one that broke something in you. You clicked. It dipped. You froze. You watched your account bleed. Not because you didn't know better, but because you couldn't do better in that moment. You were no longer trading the market. You were trading fear. It whispered, wait, hope, just a little longer. And by the time you acted, it was too late. Sound familiar? That's the secret nobody wants to admit. The biggest losses in trading are never just numbers. They're emotional. They're personal. Every trade is a mirror. And when you lose control, it reflects back everything you've spent your life avoiding. Impatience, anger, ego, shame. And most traders, they don't trade to win. They trade to escape that reflection. They jump into positions because silence feels unbearable. They overtrade because sitting still feels like failure. They scale up not out of confidence, but out of desperation. And it always ends the same way. Loss, regret, shutdown. And then they come back the next day, pretending today will be different. But it never is. Because they never changed who they are when they trade. Look, the market isn't a game you play. It's a battlefield you enter. And if you walk in with no armor, no rules, and no discipline, you don't stand a chance. But here's the thing, you don't need to predict the market to survive it. You just need to control you. And that starts with this, you need a plan to lose. Most traders only plan how to win. But losses? They treat those like hopefully not. That's why they spiral. Let me tell you about Maya. She's a newer trader. Watches price action like a hawk. Great eye, sharp instincts. But she has one flaw, she hates being wrong. First losing trade of the day, it haunts her. She stares at her P&L. Doesn't move, just simmers. Then she gets this voice in her head, I'll get it back. So she doubles her size on the next trade. No setup, just revenge. By noon, she's torched 80% of her account. Not because she didn't know what to do, but because she let not wanting to lose turn into a need to win. That's the mindset shift. Stop asking, how do I win more? Start asking, how do I lose better? How do you take a red trade without it becoming a landslide? How do you stay in control when your brain is screaming for action? Because that's where the account killers live, in those tiny moments when you ignore your system, when you size up out of frustration, when you whisper just this once. But what if one red trade didn't trigger anything? No spiral, no emotion, no shame, just execution, exit, reset. You'd be dangerous. You'd be free. That power only comes when you stop seeking the feeling of winning and start building the habit of control. Control isn't flashy. It's boring. It's taking the same setups, the same way at the same time with the same risk. Every single day, even when it feels slow, even when it feels frustrating, especially when your emotions beg you to break the rules. Because if your rules only apply when it's easy, they're not rules. They're decoration. And decoration won't save your account. Because the moment you break your rules just once, you teach your brain it's optional. And the next time it'll be easier, then easier, until it's your default. That's how traders spiral. Not in drama, but in quiet, subtle disobedience. Tiny betrayals. And if you're not careful, it never stops. The losses pile up, the confidence fades, and every new trade becomes an attempt to fix the last one. That's what most traders don't realize. They're not addicted to the win. They're addicted to escaping the discomfort of losing. Until you sit with that discomfort, until you let a red trade exist without chasing it, you'll always be reactive. The market doesn't punish your losses. It punishes your reaction to them. And until you master the reaction, you'll keep burning. Day trading without blowing up your account isn't about being right more often. It's about learning how to be wrong without self-destructing. It's about trading like a professional, not someone looking for dopamine in a sea of candlesticks. It's about shrinking the losses, controlling the risk, cutting the noise, and sticking to your plan when your emotions beg you not to. Because once you master yourself, the market has nothing left to take. So, in conclusion, blowing up your account was never about the market. It was always about the version of you that couldn't stop clicking. The version of you that confused hustle with strategy. That chased dopamine instead of discipline. You didn't lose because of a red candle. You lost because you had no plan for when it went red. You had no rule for walking away. No process to protect you from you. The market didn't betray you. It exposed you. And in that exposure lies your edge. Because the moment you decide to stop being reactive and start being intentional, the game changes. You build systems that act when your emotions scream. You scale consistency, not hope. You surrender the need to win today so you can still be here tomorrow. It's not sexy. It's not fast. But it works because boring is profitable. Discipline is repeatable. And survival, that's the real strategy. If you want to trade for the long haul, you need fewer trades, stronger rules, and a mindset that says, I don't need to win every trade, I just need to stop blowing up. If you want me to make other videos explaining these topics, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.